Week 6 of the 2020 NFL season gets kicked off today, and as we always do, I'm going to be going over my game predictions for every game that's going to be going on this week in the NFL. And that being said, let's look at some games. Of course, at 1 p.m. Eastern, we've got the Texans and the Titans coming up. That's, of course, once again at 1 Eastern. Titans are favored by 3.5 there. I've got the Titans winning that game. They're undefeated right now. They're looking like one of the best teams in the AFC, one of the best teams in the league for that matter. So I'm going to give the Titans the win there over Houston, which, of course, the Texans have been a huge disappointment this season. We expected them to be much better than they have been so far. So I've got the Titans winning that one. Lions and Jaguars also coming up at 1. I've got the Jaguars winning that one. I think the Jaguars pull a big upset there. Lions are favored by 3 on the road. And, of course, both teams aren't very good this season, it apparently seems. And I think the Jaguars, they're not very good as well. But I do have them getting the win here in Jacksonville today. Also at 1 Eastern, we got the Browns and the Steelers. Steelers are looking really good right now. They're favored by 3.5 there. Same thing with the Browns. This is probably the game of the day between both of these teams. A very important game as well for both teams moving forward and seeing who's going to be the better team in the end in that division. And I've got the Steelers winning that game. I think because they're at home, I think the Steelers are going to have a big advantage there. And I think the Cleveland Browns do stick around for the majority of that one. I think the Browns are going to give them a good fight, but I think the Steelers will get the win in the end. Also, we got the Bears and the Panthers. And then the Panthers are favored by 1.5 there. Of course, they're at home as well. But I've got the Panthers going against the spread. And I've got the Chicago Bears getting the win there in the end in Carolina, which will be a big win for them. Of course, the Bears have been kind of up and down this season. But I think, honestly, now they've got Nick Foles at quarterback. He played really well last week. I think the Bears are going to have a decent amount of momentum coming into that matchup. And I think the Bears will get the win there over the Panthers in the end. Also, got the Ravens and the Eagles. Ravens are going to get the win there, I think. They're favored by 9.5. And they're going to win it pretty easily, I think. I think the Eagles aren't they're a decent team, but they're not very good. So I think the Ravens get it done pretty easily here today. We also got Washington at the New York Giants. And the Giants are probably the worst team in the league right now, I would say. They're actually favored by 3 in this matchup, which does surprise me a bit. But I'm going with the Giants nonetheless, even though they're 0-5 right now and winless. I think that they do get the win against Washington here today. I think Washington's going to hang around. I think it's going to be a really close matchup, but the Giants will get the first win of the season here today. Also, the Bengals and the Colts are coming up at 1 Eastern. Colts are at home in Indianapolis. I've got the Colts winning that one as well pretty easily. They're favored by 7.5 against a Bengals team that's been pretty inconsistent this season. And even though the Bengals have got a good shot of winning this game, of course, they've been looking actually halfway decent this season with Joe Burrow at quarterback. They're going to be a team to watch out for in the future, but not this year. I think the Colts get the win in the end. Also, your bye week teams, we've got the Raiders, Saints, Chargers, and Seahawks. All 4 of those teams will not be playing this week. As for the rest of your games, also at 1 Eastern, we got the Falcons traveling to Minnesota to play the Vikings. Vikings are favored by 4. I've got the Falcons getting a win in Minnesota here today. That's going to be a huge win for Atlanta. And, of course, with them being winless right now, it's really important that they get a win. And I think after Dan Quinn being fired, I think that will give Atlanta a bit of a momentum boost, to be honest with you. It's going to be a change in the culture, and I think that the Falcons do get the win over the Vikings here today. We also got the Broncos and the Patriots. Patriots are favored by 9 there, also coming up at 1 Eastern, and I've got the Patriots winning that one. I think New England and Cam Newton, they're all looking pretty good right now, and the Broncos in general are not looking as good, and they're probably one of the worst teams in the league. So I've got New England winning that one. Coming up by 4:05 Eastern, we got the Jets and the Dolphins. Miami's at home for that matchup against probably the worst team in the league in the Jets. I've got the Dolphins winning that one pretty easily. They're favored by 9.5, and they're not even a mediocre team. So that's something to definitely look at there. We also got the Packers and the Buccaneers. Probably the game of the day there between both of those teams. We got Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers going head-to-head in that matchup in Tampa Bay. Packers are favored by 1 here, and I've got the Packers getting the win in Tampa. I think the Packers are too good of a team right now to go against, and until the Packers lose, I can't go against them. They're 4-0 right now, easily looking like the best team in the league. And then the Buccaneers, on the other hand, are just pretty inconsistent right now, as they did lose to Chicago last week. So, yeah, I've got Green Bay winning that game but it will be a close one, no doubt on that. Coming up on Sunday Night Football, we got the Rams and the 49ers. Games in San Francisco. Rams are favored by 3 here, and rightfully so. I think the Rams get the win in the end over the Niners. Niners just have not been looking right this season. Of course, they got blown out last week to none other than the Miami Dolphins. So, yeah, that's not a good sign for the Niners. But I've got the Rams winning that one. I think the Rams are honestly one of the big sleeper teams in the league so far this season. Watch out for the Los Angeles Rams this year, as they are looking like a really good team right now. Coming up tomorrow, we got 2 Monday night games, and at 5 Eastern, we got the Chiefs and the Bills. Great game here between both of these teams. Chiefs are favored by 5, and it's going to be in Buffalo. I've got Kansas City winning this one in the end. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are all around a much better team, and even though they lost last week to Las Vegas, I think they bounce back and get a win in Buffalo. Then coming up at the real Monday night game, we got the Cardinals and the Cowboys. Cardinals are favored by 1.5 there, and Arizona's another team that's really been a bit of a sleeper team this season. And the Cowboys in general, their defense is just awful. They're just not looking like a good team at all. And then, of course, with the Dak Prescott situation, I mean, once again, courtesy to them. But I've got the Cardinals winning that matchup in the end pretty easily. I think the Arizona Cardinals going to Dallas and get a big win on Monday night. Once again, your bye week teams: Raiders, Saints, Chargers, and then Seahawks. And that wraps up this video for our Week 6 game predictions. Let me know your thoughts and comments below on this one. If you disagree with anything here, I'd sure like to hear your thoughts on that as well in the comments below. But then again, thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central, and I'll see you later.